Without you, what is life for you?
Something about relationships, which is one of our top subjects in the human expression of consciousness. But what I felt was that many relationships fail, not just relationships between, man and woman, and any sort of relationship actually, I felt was inducing trouble quite often, because very often we have an idea of what we think is good for us. And it starts out like that. If you have a picture of how things should be, already there is a kind of a staleness about it. There will already be a staleness about it, an inflexibility. And it's a big setup for a disaster movie. It's a big setup for a disaster movie, because you will never get it the way you conceive of it in your mind, through your own projection or fantasy or imagination. In my own case, I found relationships I've been in my life, so to speak, I seem always to outgrow them, always outgrow, because because I feel that consciousness is always naturally expanding. I can put it like this: in its terrestrial expression, it's always expanding. And there are many people who have a kind of concept which they have, which come through conditioning, that this is the way things should be. This is the way a husband should behave, a wife should behave, a partner should behave, and so on. And there comes a kind of an inflexibility with this. And if you have an idea that, okay, this is how it should be, then you will never see how it is. You'll never see how it is. And it can happen that someone just imagines that, well, the top life is to have a partner, maybe have a good job, have a good house, have some children, and you create this kind of nucleus, this nuclear kind of family. Is that the right term, I would say, like this? And somehow you think you can live in this bubble and be happy. But you're going to be outdated very quickly. Because if you are a living being, and by the nature of life, you have to be growing, you have to be expanding, always have to be flexible. Otherwise, in 3 years maximum, your relationships start to burn out. It runs out of originality. If you are just stuck on, this is what you think life, you should reach this point where you have these things in place, and then after this, you're happily ever after. There's a fantasy, and many people, adults, seemingly intelligent people, have fallen for this type of thing. But from the place of consciousness in expression always have to be expanding, deepening, becoming more wise. And this is why I feel really only people who are really in a search for truth, or open to truth, open to life, will have longevity and successful partnerships in life, because you have to be continuously renewing yourself at this level. Something has to be fresh. You have to be growing in wisdom. You cannot just be earning more money, having more children, getting more fat, whatever. It's not the juice that people need in life. And this is, after a while, naturally you become tired. You become tired of each other. You don't know how to get out, because you just become a habit. And a relationship that's running only on habit is a dead one. It's not even a relationship. So I feel this is something that is so important, that this is for life anyway. As I'm using the term relationship, but it's in its broader context. I'm talking really about life. And the only area where you are guaranteed is not the right word, but where you will stay alive is if you have a search for truth. Not a search for a husband, not a search for children, not a search for fame, not a search for money. All these things will bring you to catastrophe. It has to be a search for truth. And in that commitment, in that search, in that focus for truth, everything else is satisfied automatically. You'll have developed wisdom, true discernment, a great sense of true independence, and inner stability and strength. A human being should not really live depending on another human being. Not depend. Sometimes you can say rely in terms of just commonsensically, but not to depend in this way. You must rest inside your own being. So I saw this in my own life, that after a while the energy goes. And this is why people look for fresh energy. Not because the next person is going to be more wise, just that they're fresh. There's an aliveness, and that aliveness must stay throughout your life somehow. And it's strange I'm using this terminology, that we have to be sensible about it in our expression as dynamic existence. Life isn't necessarily change. Change is there. It is the oxygen of the beingness, this change. But all of this change we're talking about happens against a background of unchanging self and awareness. That cannot grow. One can grow in terms of dualistic awareness, meaning the awareness of something. But in pure awareness, in this pure self, it's already a perfection. But in its expression as existence, in its expression as the I am self, it has to continually be renewing, refreshing, spring cleaning itself. This is the joy anyway of existence. And so many relationships, they're a kind of living death. If you set your target only about money, children, house, quickly these are filled. And after that, but you are not fulfilled. After that you just continue, and it becomes monotonous because you're not aware that there's broader, infinitely broader regions than this. This is what I wanted to say. And many times, especially in the West, we are moving relationship after relationship after relationship after relationship, even. And it need not be so, but we cannot help doing this because there is no depth, there's no stamina, there's no strength, there's no focusness. When you're in a focused space, your life generates that freshness, generates that inspirational quality, which if you just settle for, wife, husband, 2 children, nice house and a car, you're a museum piece. You're finished. Also, it's a very selfish way. Love has got to be growing, and it's got to grow beyond, you and me. It has to grow in its cosmic potential. You're growing in love and broader, not loving lots of people in a competitive love, but it embraces the whole universe, because that's natural. It's not something you're doing, just you're open to this, rather than just you become a little tribe, a little clan. Something's opening to a universal love. There's the Buddha, the Christ in everybody.
You are the one in whose presence all of this is occurring. Without you, what is life for you?